I thought I had the perfect life. A loving wife, Sarah, a beautiful home, and a successful career. We'd been married for 5 years, and I was looking forward to our anniversary. I'd planned a surprise trip to Paris, the city of love, where I first proposed. Little did I know, the biggest surprise was waiting for me, and it was anything but romantic. It all started with small things. Sarah started working late more often. She said it was a big project at her marketing firm. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was the most honest person I knew, or so I thought. Then there were the hushed phone calls she'd take in the other room, the way she'd quickly angle her phone away from me when a text came in. I chalked it up to work stress. I even tried to be more supportive, cooking her favorite meals and running her baths. I was the doting husband, completely oblivious to the storm brewing right under my roof. The first real crack in my perfect world appeared one evening when I came home early to surprise her. Her car was in the driveway, but the house was dark. I walked in, calling her name. No answer. I found her in our bedroom, but she wasn't alone. She was on a video call, whispering and laughing with a man I'd never seen before. The moment she saw me, she slammed her laptop shut, a look of pure panic on her face. She stuttered, saying it was just a colleague, brainstorming ideas. The look in her eyes told a different story, but I pushed my doubts down. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. But the seed of suspicion had been planted. I started noticing more inconsistencies. She'd mention a dinner with her team, but the next day, her supposed dinner companion would post pictures from a family night in The lies were piling up, each one a tiny paper cut on my heart. The breaking point came a week before our anniversary. I'd found a receipt in her coat pocket. It wasn't for office supplies or a business lunch. It was for a fancy hotel, one known for romantic getaways, for 2 nights. A weekend I thought she spent at a work retreat. The name on the receipt wasn't hers. It was under Mr. and Mrs. Smith. A cliché, I know. It would have been funny if it wasn't tearing my life apart. That night, I couldn't sleep. The image of her with someone else laughing in a hotel room I paid for indirectly burned in my mind. The trust, the foundation of our entire relationship, had crumbled into dust. The next morning I didn't confront her. Rage and heartbreak were at war inside me. But a cold, clear thought cut through the chaos. Revenge. Not a loud, messy fight. Something smarter. Something that would show her the consequences of her actions, not just for me, but for her too. I canceled the Paris trip. The airline was surprisingly understanding. Raffoon felt like the first small victory in a battle I never wanted to fight. I started my own investigation. It wasn't hard. Her digital footprint was a map of her deceit. Social media, shared accounts we'd forgotten about, they all painted a picture. But the other man was her old college flame, Mark. He was married too. This wasn't just a fling. It was a tangled web of betrayal involving 2 families. My heart ached for his wife, another innocent victim in their selfish game. My plan began to take shape. Sarah's big project at work was real. She was leading a massive campaign pitch for a huge client, a make-or-break moment for her career. She'd been pouring everything into it, or so she said. I knew her presentation inside and out because she de-practiced it in front of me dozens of times, back when I was still her supportive husband. I also knew her biggest professional weakness. She was terrible with data and analytics. That was my department. I'd always been the one to help her crunch the numbers, make the charts, and ensure her projections were solid. This time I wouldn't. On the day of her big presentation, she was a nervous wreck. I looked at her, my face a mask of loving concern. Of course, honey, I said, but you've got this. You're brilliant. I didn't touch her files. I knew there was a critical flaw in her financial model, a miscalculation that would make her entire proposal look amateurish and financially irresponsible. A mistake I would have normally caught in a second. While she was at her presentation, I moved on to phase 2. I put it all in a neat little package. Then, I reached out to Mark's wife, a woman named Emily. I sent her a simple, anonymous email. You deserve to know the truth about your husband. I attached a single, undeniable photo. I felt a pang of guilt, knowing I was about to turn her world upside down, but she deserved the truth more than he deserved his secrets. That afternoon, my phone rang. It was Sarah. She was crying, borderline hysterical. The presentation had been a disaster. The client had torn her numbers apart. They called her analysis superficial and unfounded. Her boss was furious. Her career-defining moment had become a career-ending humiliation. I listened, offered empty words of comfort, and told her to come home. When she walked through the door, defeated and broken, she found me sitting in the living room. It wasn't dark and empty. It was filled with boxes. All my things were packed. On the coffee table, right next to our wedding album, was a single manila envelope, same one I'd prepared for Emily, but with her name on it. She looked from the boxes to the envelope, confusion turning to dawning horror. She didn't even need to open it. She knew. The tears started again, but this time they weren't for her career. "How could you?" she whispered. I stood up, feeling a strange sense of calm. The anger had burned out, leaving behind a cold, hard resolve. "How could I?" I repeated, my voice steady. "You ask me that? You who looked me in the eye and lied every single day for months? You who shared a bed with me while planning secret trips with another man? You've destroyed our home, Sarah. I'm just packing up the debris." The fight she expected never came. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just laid out the facts, the lies, the betrayal, with chilling precision. I told her I knew about Mark, about the hotel, about everything. I also told her that Emily knew. The color drained from her face. Her selfish little bubble had popped, and the reality of the damage she'd caused was crashing down on her all at once. Leaving that house was the hardest and easiest thing I've ever done. It was painful to walk away from the life I had built, but it was liberating to walk away from the lies. In the following weeks, the fallout was immense. Sarah lost her job. Her company couldn't trust her judgment after such a public failure. Mark's wife, Emily, filed for divorce, and from what I heard, she used the information I provided to ensure she got everything she deserved. As for me, it wasn't an easy road. Healing from that kind of betrayal takes time. There were days filled with anger and nights filled with loneliness. But with every day that passed, I felt a little stronger. I reconnected with old friends, focused on my own career, and started rediscovering who I was outside of that marriage. My revenge wasn't about destroying Sarah's life, though it certainly felt like it at first. It was about taking back control of my own. It was about refusing to be a victim in her story. I exposed the truth, and the truth did the rest. It broke my heart, yes. But from those broken pieces, I built something new, something stronger, something that was entirely my own. And that, I realized, was the best revenge of all. Thanks for listening. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone and you have the strength to rebuild. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.